Welcome, everybody. My name is Kristin, and I am going to be doing a quick little live demo for you guys. We do have a couple of party goers on with me live, so you'll hear some interaction and some questions from them. But for those of you that are watching the recording, if you have any questions or comments, just be sure to pop them into the comments below where the video is posted, and I'll be sure to get back to you with answering any questions that you might have. So tonight, what's on the menu is a farmer's market pizza. And I love this recipe because number one, it's pizza. Who doesn't love pizza, right? And we're going to be cooking on stoneware, which is one of my very most favorite things from Pampered Chef. I've been cooking on stoneware for like 35 years. How about the rest of you guys? Who's been cooking like that long on stoneware?
A very long time.
Yeah. Okay.
Probably one of the first Pampered Chef things I got. I've had stoneware a long time.
Yeah, and that for me, how I got turned on to it was my mother-in-law had been to a Pampered Chef party in Texas. She was living in Texas at the time. And they, I'm sure, made pizza at the party or whatever. And so she bought a large round stone for all the girls in the family for Christmas that year.
Nice.
And at that time, I had never heard of Pampered Chef. I didn't even know what stoneware was, but it was really fun to learn a little bit about it. And it's funny because when I first got it, I read, use and care, and I'm like, okay, great, I can make pizza on it, but I didn't quite get everything that you could do with it. And it wasn't until I started going to Pampered Chef parties that I learned more about stoneware. So that's why it's like, I love that you guys have joined me tonight so that you can learn more about the tools, because I think it just makes them that much more valuable for you guys. So is everybody on the call familiar with stoneware?
Yes. Yes.
And Rita, I think you are too. So tonight I'm going to be, make sure this isn't too hot for me to pick up. I'm going to be cooking on kind of the pretty version of the round stone. So this is the large round stone, but this has the white glazing on it, as you can see. So it stays prettier. So if you want something that looks nice, to cook in, but then looks nice to serve in, would probably be the direction you want to go in. But of course, we do have, what I call the naked stoneware. So this is the large round stone. You guys, if you've been cooking with stoneware forever, you probably have the stone that doesn't have handles on it. It's just like a flat round.
Exactly.
So that was my first one, and I still have it. I have it on the counter here behind me. But now they come with the handles built in, so it makes it really easier to hold on to it, get it in and out of the oven than the old ones were. So I really do like that. But you can see they still season just as beautifully. Look at, that looks ugly, but you guys know, because you guys know stoneware, you know that is beautiful. If you are purchasing stoneware tonight, so what I'm going to call our new stoneware, some things have changed about it. So it still cooks just as beautifully as you're used to, but now stoneware can go in the dishwasher and it's okay to put soap on it. So kind of some of those no-nos that you remember from way back when. So if you have your old stoneware and on the back, it's going to have just kind of like rings on it like this, that tells you that it's the old stoneware. And that you do need to follow those rules of, no soap, don't put it in the dishwasher, yada, yada, yada. But with the new stoneware, we just had heard from so many customers that they didn't like that they couldn't clean it. They felt like it wasn't clean if they couldn't use soap or they couldn't put it in the dishwasher. So we reformulated the clay so that it was okay to do that. And so now the new stoneware, you can see how on the back it looks a little bit different. It has these waves on it. So that's kind of how you can tell the difference. If you happen to have old stoneware and then you have new stoneware in your kitchen, you can tell the difference, so you know which ones are which. So so they've just kind of made it even better than it was before, because now people find it easier to clean. Even though I never had a problem with cleaning, it comes with that little nylon pan scraper that I use to clean everything off. So with that, we're going to go ahead and get started with our pizza. Has anybody had this pizza before, farmer's market pizza or 3 cheese? Because I've made it at parties for years and years and years, and I thought maybe you might have seen it at another party. But this is, it's just a vegetarian pizza, no sauce. It's just cheese and vegetables, but it is so good and so delicious. And I love it even more in the summer when you get really good fresh produce. But right now we're going to just have to go with what we got. So for the crust, I made a homemade crust, and this is one of my favorite recipes, and I'm going to post this in the party tomorrow. It's called 5-minute dough. And what I like about it is I always have the ingredients on hand, because it's Greek yogurt, flour, baking powder, baking soda, and salt. So no yeast. You don't have to worry about messing with yeast and having it rise and having to give it all that time. Literally, you just put your ingredients together, mix it up, knead it for a couple of minutes, and the dough is ready to go. So it's one of my favorite things for pizza. But of course, you can do this with Pillsbury pizza crust if you want, or if you buy frozen bread dough or whatever. Now, with the new stand mixer, so I'm going to give you a little walk through my kitchen here. This is the new stand mixer from Pampered Chef. And this makes making my 5-minute dough even easier because I throw all the ingredients in there. And one of the, hold this okay with letting go with one hand. One of the attachments is a dough hook. And so it does all the kneading for me. And so that has made this even easier because before I would have to knead it by hand. And I'm not much of a bread baker. So like, I really never knew like how long to knead it or what, you know, what the whole process was. But with the stand mixer, it has a preset that I just hit the button that says knead, and it knows exactly what to do in terms of mixing the ingredients kind of slowly and then ramping up with the speed and actually kneading it. So if you're in the market for a stand mixer, if you don't already have a KitchenAid, think about Pampered Chef because ours, I have a KitchenAid in my kitchen and I didn't think this one could be better, but it is. So anyway, if you're in the market for a stand mixer, let me know and I'll kind of go into a little bit more detail about the stand mixer. But for now, got the crust made and I went ahead and I par baked it. So I popped it in the oven for about 7 minutes, I think is what the recipe had me do, to just kind of cook it a little bit. And that's because all the vegetables that are going to go on top have a lot of moisture with them. And we don't want the crust to get soggy. So by, kind of par baking, it's going to crisp it up just a little bit. Plus I put a little bit of olive oil on top for that. Bake that for 7 minutes. Now we're going to go ahead and load that up. The other thing we're going to do to kind of give a barrier against the moisture of all the vegetables is we're going to put cheese on it first. We're going to do some cheese, then the vegetables, and then cheese on top. And that's also going to help the pizza to not get soggy. So I've got about a cup of mozzarella cheese already grated. And we're going to go ahead and grate some cheddar cheese. Do you guys grate your own cheese or do you buy it already grated?
Both.
I grate my own.
Okay, good. Good. Whoever said they grate that. Was that you, Ellen?
I do both.
Okay. Okay, so I do recommend grating it yourself because it's going to taste better, it's going to melt better, and it's a whole lot cheaper if you do it yourself than if you buy it pre-grated. And of course, you have to have the right tool. And this is the cheese grater. And what I like, I don't always use the food guard, but I learned on one of my last live demos, I cut myself because I wasn't paying attention. So now I'm better about using the food guard. So it does have a food guard so that it keeps from grating your fingers, because that's the one thing that most people don't like about grating cheese is that you end up grating your fingers or your knuckles. So with this little food guard, I've got some cheese in there. Once you kind of grate it down, oops, I got to get it a little bit down a little bit further. Then it's got this little pusher here that is going to push the cheese all the way the rest of the way. And so you can see how even if you don't pay attention, like I was doing the other night, you are not going to grate your fingers as you are grating cheese. So there you go. And it really does a pretty good job of getting, all that cheese all the way to the very end. And this is dishwasher safe, so it's easy to clean. And the other thing that I like is you can use it like I was using, kind of standing up. That's my preference. But it's got this little button here on the back. And when you push that, it opens it up. So like if you wanted to grate like right onto your pizza, you could do that. And then for storage, it's nice and thin like this. And
You keep improving everything.
I know, because the other one had the little knob here on the side.
Oh, yeah.
And so many people didn't know it was there and they're forcing it and then breaking it. I cannot tell you how many of those I had to replace for people. So, and that's it. We hear from our customers what works, what doesn't work, and then they make it better. So you got that. And then anything sharp from the Pampered Chef is going to have a protective cover so that you're not going to cut yourself as you're rummaging through drawers or anything. So let's set that off to the side. So we've got our cheddar cheese in there. And then we're going to add some Parmesan cheese. And then this is another grater. This is the zester actually. And it works the same way. It has this little knob here that you can, open it up all the way, or you can stand it up, which is what I'm going to do. Also has a protective cover. And it also has the little food guard, but I find that's kind of like a little bit of cheese. Like if you just have a little block or you're getting to the end, I think it's really handy. But if you have a larger block of cheese, as I'm about to use, that food guard doesn't work quite as well. So we're just going to be careful at this point. So we're going to go ahead and grate up some Parmesan cheese, but you can see, hopefully, there we go, just how beautifully it's so soft and fluffy. It's just, those are kind of weird words to describe cheese, but it really does just a great job. And look at how quickly it grates. And when you put this on your pasta, this Parmesan cheese actually melts. So okay, so we got that, and that's going to go into our bowl of cheese here. And then to this, we're going to go ahead and add some Italian seasoning. Any of you guys use our seasoning mixes?
I do.
Which ones do you like?
Oh, well, I have a bunch of them, but there was a lemon Can't remember what it was. I'd have to look at it. I know, but
We've
I,
had
you
a
know,
lemon pepper, we have a
well, I
lemon
can't
garlic.
remember what it is. I'd have to look,
Yeah,
but I have several. I've used several.
yeah, and they are so good. And you know,
Yeah,
we
they are.
I always say we have different countries. So there's Southwest and Asian and Italian. And then there's all kinds of herby ones. And then there's spicy and there's barbecue and there's not so spicy. And they're great. You can add them to vegetables. You can add them to meats. You can put them in sauces, any of those good things. So I do love our seasonings. Okay, let me pull this pizza over here so you can see a little bit, but I'm going to get it kind of just in the corner of your screen here. So you can see a little bit about what I'm doing. So I'm going to take half of this cheese. So this is the Italian seasoning, cheddar cheese, mozzarella cheese, and some Parmesan cheese. And we're going to just spread that out on the crust. And this again is making kind of a barrier against all the moisture from all these vegetables that are going to be added here. Okay, I'll hold this up so you can see. There we go. Got that? And whoops, I forgot an ingredient. See, I always do this. I was supposed to add garlic first. We're going to add it now. What the heck, you know?
It'll work.
So anyway, so usually I take the garlic and I spread it on the crust. At this point, well, I'm going to mix it up with the cheese. So it's going to go on top. So that's what we're going to do. So if you guys are not familiar with the garlic press, this is one of my favorite things. Take your garlic clove, paper it all. You do not need to peel it, and put it in the little hopper, give it a squeeze. And this is like a really big one. So this is going to take like a lot of muscle here. Trying to get this in the screen. Can you guys see all that garlic that's coming out of
Yeah,
there?
that's
Oh
one
my
of
goodness.
my favorite things.
Yes. One of my favorites. I've had the garlic press in my kitchen for, I don't know, like 20, I've been doing this business for 23 years. So I probably have had the garlic press for about 24 years. I think I got it before I was a consultant, but you get all that garlic, and then what's left behind is just the paper. So you don't have to worry about there's any waste. This little cleaner stores in the handle, so it makes it really easy to use and to find.
Okay, Kristin, I just learned something about the storage of that little handle. I
Yeah.
didn't know that's stored in the handle.
Well, no, do you
the
have an old, do you have one that's really, really old?
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Oh, so yours might. So when my very first one from Pampered Chef, that was like 20 plus years ago, the little cleaner
Uh-huh.
actually stored up here. And it was kind of
I'm gonna have
awkward.
to look
I had
at
take it
mine.
off to be able to use it. But about 20 years ago, they introduced this newer model, and it has the cleaner that stores in the handle like this.
Okay, now my garlic press has started to, there's
Get
like
black?
a black,
Yeah.
there's like a black, is
Do you
that
see
okay?
mine? Can you
Uh-huh,
see mine?
Yeah,
Mine-
yeah.
It's just kind of, and I don't even know that it's the finish. It's not like it's flaking off, like to be concerned, like you're
Right.
eating it or whatever. But mine, you can see, I mean, mine is like black and worn, and it works beautifully. It just doesn't look very pretty.
Yeah,
So,
well, that's what mine looks like.
yeah, so does
Probably a
mine.
reaction
Yeah.
of some sort.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
yeah.
chemical relax, you
Yeah.
can tell because it's kind of slimy.
Well, I was gonna say, and also too, I mean, I think garlic is somewhat acidic, so it probably over
Well,
time
that's-
kind of
yeah.
wears that off.
yeah.
But so mine looks just the same as that, and it still works beautifully. So anyway,
I'm gonna have to check to see if mine holds the thingy, yeah.
yeah, kind of
Okay,
see
I'm sorry.
where that holds so that you know where to put it. But the new ones, like I said, and this is about 20 years ago, they started storing it in the handle, because I think what happened was you had to take it off to use it. And then people would end up throwing it away or get, you know, tossed away or whatever by mistake. Whereas in the handle, you can still use it without having to take the cleaner off. So you wouldn't use it. You wouldn't lose it. So
Okay,
anyway, okay. So garlic was supposed to go on first. I've now added to the cheese. It's going to go on top at the end. Okay. So now we're going to do some mushrooms, and I want to show you this fun new little guy. This is
I
called
love
the cup
that thing.
slicer.
That's
So
on my
Brenda
wish
has already
list.
seen this. Is this not the funnest little thing you've ever seen?
Yes, it's on my wish list. I
So,
think that's
Anyway,
great.
so now I will tell you guys, this has been so popular. We are still selling it, but it is on back order. So if you do order it, your order will come in minus the cup slicer, but it will ship as soon as we have more back in stock, which will probably be about 5 weeks from when you order it. So just
you.
know, unfortunately, you're going to have to wait. But what's so fun about it is, watch this. So here we have our mushrooms, and it's got blades on the bottom. So it's kind of like a glorified egg slicer. So if you guys are familiar with the egg slicer that had the wires, and it would slice eggs, strawberries, mushrooms, olives, all those things. This does the same thing, and it's about the same
is it
size.
like an alarm?
Yeah,
Is it like an alarm?
Except these are blades. so that it will cut through something even harder. So like if you have a strawberry that's kind of white on the end, that's hard, like if it was the wires, it would have a tendency to pop those wires off, whereas with the blade, it's not going to happen. And what you do is, all you do is just kind of press down on whatever you're doing. So there's my mushrooms. And as you cut, it
Okay.
fills the cup. Is that not too
Great.
fun?
Well, thanks, Barbara. I appreciate it.
I'm going to go ahead.
If you're, Barbara,
Here,
to
if I
put
can.
your mind at ease, if there is something wrong going on in there, Johnson Controls would.
Okay, I think I got her muted. Okay. Anyway, just so that that's not interfering. So it fills the cup as you go. So like you can do strawberries, you can do grapes, you can do bananas, you can do kiwi. So it does all the way up to like hardness would be maybe you could do a cucumber or a zucchini with it. And I can even show you that with the zucchini I'm about to do, but don't go into radishes or carrots, potatoes, onions. Those are all too hard for it. So it's going to be all your softer things. And then if you notice, and that's probably about all the mushrooms I need, so I'm not going to do those last. The last one, it kind of gets stuck there in those wires, as you can see. But if you just push it down onto this little protective cover, it pushes it all the way through. And then there you have all your mushrooms. And you can see how they're all just like perfectly sliced, all the same size, ready to go. And this is so much fun. So that's the cup slicer. Had to show you guys that because, and I might just, you know what, I think I might just go ahead and do these last two mushrooms. What the heck? Because it's so
Yeah,
much fun.
go ahead.
There we go. There we go. My husband will be happy. He loves mushrooms. Okay.
Me
And there you
too.
go. And this goes in the dish. Whoops, some on the floor for my puppy dogs. Good thing you guys aren't eating that. My family can eat what was on the floor. I wouldn't do that for you guys.
5-second rule.
Exactly. So that's the cup slicer. Now, if you don't have the cup slicer, we're going to go ahead and slice some vegetables. Let me make some room here with the rapid prep mandolin, which is the next thing that I'm going to show you. And you could do the mushrooms with that. So I'm not saying that you need to buy all the different tools that I'm showing you. I just want you to see a variety of tools and then you can kind of pick what you think is best for you in your kitchen. So let me, hold on a second, I gotta change the view on my screen so I can see everybody again. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and slice some zucchini and we're going to slice some tomatoes. And I'm going to just kind of show you all the different things this does. So has anybody gotten their hands on the rapid prep mandolin yet?
No, but I
No?
want
Okay.
to.
I love this thing. So it has 24 different settings between these two dials. So if you can see here on the top dial, and you can't see well enough from the screen, but there's 3 different settings. One is to slice, and then one is what I call a fat julienne. So think about French fries. And one is a thin julienne, which is like a matchstick style cut. And then with each of those 3 settings, you have this bottom dial that goes from 1 to 8, which is your thickness. So like if you went to slice, and I'm going to show you some different slices with this just because I don't need the whole zucchini. But I'm going to show you just some different things that it can do. So right now I have it on slice, and I'm going to go ahead and do a couple slices on the number 1 setting, which is the thinnest, just so you can see how thin this goes. Okay, so you can see what we've done there, like pretty thin, right? Okay, and again, if you did the whole zucchini, they'd all be just like that, just perfect, nice and thin like that. And then next, I'm going to show you just kind of halfway through. I'm going to do about a 4 slice. So there's your, you can see how we're getting thicker. Okay, this is the thinnest. There's your medium slice. And now I'm going to go ahead and put it on 8 just so that you can see the fattest. And there's your 8. Okay.
Wow.
So that's for slicing. So you actually have 1 through 8. So you can kind of decide whatever you're doing. And you can do something soft, like you're going to see me do tomatoes, all the way to something hard, like sweet potatoes. Like sweet potatoes are super hard. They're really, a lot of times your slicers just really struggle to get through them, or on wedgers and things, they say like, don't even try a sweet potato, but you can do all that with this. Then it also has what I'm calling the fat julienne and the skinny julienne. So I'm going to show you on the fat julienne what I call the perfect French fry cut. So think about if you have an air fryer or you want to do your own French fries, you can run them on here and you get these kind of pieces. Do you see how they are? So they're kind of julienne, but they're fat and square. And so you could see that was, 2 cuts, but think about if you were doing a potato, I mean, like in no time at all, you would have this potato sliced super duper fast. So with that, that is as wide as it is, but then also as tall as it is. So that's why you're getting this perfect square. But you can adjust it to be thinner. So like it'd be just as wide, but thinner. To me, that kind of starts to get confusing. I'm like, I don't know, there's like too many settings. So I kind of just focus on slicing from 1 to 8, or the perfect French fry, or now I'm going to show you the perfect matchstick style cut. Get that set for that. And you're going to see you get these little guys. So can you see the difference here? So here's your fat julienne and your kind of your skinny julienne. And to me, that's about all you need. So like if you're making French fries, go with the fat julienne. If you're doing like you wanted like some shredded carrots or zucchini or something for a salad or a stir fry, you could go into the skinny julienne. So it has 24 different settings. Not that you need all 24 settings, but know that there are 24 settings. And so for our pizza though, I just want to go ahead and slice. And I want to do these kind of that medium slice, that number 4 that we had. And that's what I'm going to go ahead and do. And you're going to just see how fast you can do this. And that's what I like. It's just kind of like speed cutting here. Okay, so you ready? And then it does have a food guard. So when you're getting close to the blade, you always want to use the food guard so that you're not cutting your fingers. Whoops, my light's slipping. Okay, so just like that, look at how perfect these all are. They're all the same
it's
size.
amazing.
It was super easy, super fast. Okay, so that is the zucchini. Then, just so you can see the different, oh, my dog's gonna be happy. I just dropped some on the floor. Dropping everything on the floor. My dogs are gonna be like, oh, I like these demos. You drop a lot of food. Okay, so now a zucchini is not particularly hard, but you can kind of get the idea. It's harder than a tomato. And you know that many times when you try to do a tomato on some kind of a slice or mantle, they tend to mush and they just go to nothing. So, but with this, that is not the case. Let me get this piece of zucchini out of there. And we're going to slice this about that same setting. So it's a 4. And watch how beautiful. Whoops, I just lost my light. Now it gets me in the dark. But look at these slices. Look at how beautiful they did those. And the whole tomato is like that. None of it got smushed. None of it got icky. And so you have these beautiful, beautiful slices. And I've got more food on the floor. So, and my dog is not eating it up. What is wrong with my dog? Okay, I'm going to do a second tomato and kind of turn this just so you can kind of see how it looks as it's coming out the back. And if you go too fast, like I've been doing, it does fly out the back and goes and, it goes on the floor. So just don't get too crazy with it because it's so easy and you're going so fast that you just have a tendency to make it go. But just like that, that was 2 tomatoes sliced. And look at how perfect they all are.
Wow.
So yes,
Cool.
wow is right. Okay. And then this all goes in the dishwasher for easy cleanup. So that makes that easy as well. Now, with moving on with our recipe. Oh, shoot. I was going to show you the cup slicer with some zucchini. Let me see if I can still do that. Let me put a couple of pieces together here for you. Okay. So I just put some zucchini pieces together. Let's see how this is going to work. So, and you could, and there you go. So it will slice like zucchini and cucumber as well. So there you go. And if you had like a chunk of it, like if you were holding it like this, you would get your slices. Okay, questions on any of those 2 tools? Everybody good? Okay, then the last thing that I'm going to show you, you could slice your onion that's going to go on this pizza with the Rapid Prep mandolin. But of course, I just want to show you some different tools. And I'm actually going to chop up the onion for this. So I've got some red onion. This is the manual food processor. And all I'm going to do is just pump the handle. And it chops up your onion. And if you want it coarsely chopped, we could let it go at that. I want mine to be a little bit finer chopped. So we're going to just chop it a little bit more and you can just see how it just makes it more and more fine. So who already has the manual food processor? This has been around for a while, so I would expect maybe some of you guys.
I do.
You got it? What all do you
Yeah,
use
I
it
have
for?
it also.
Yeah.
I
What do you
do.
use it for?
My husband uses it to chop up mushrooms and
Oh,
stuff.
good. Okay. So yeah, it'll chop up, anything, like I said, you can do. I'm going to get my light back up here so you can see me a little bit better. So it will chop up, like you said, onions, mushrooms, peppers, whatever, single ingredients. I like it though, because it will do multiple ingredients. So like if you wanted to make salsa, you could throw like your onions and peppers in here, chop those up a little bit, add your tomatoes, your cilantro, everything else, and you can make salsa in here. So because it's in a bowl and contained, it's not as messy as like chopping on your cutting board. So that's another use for this. So, okay, so we have all of our vegetables ready to go. We're going to go ahead and load up our pizza. So let me just turn the camera down so you can see what we're doing. So again, got our cheese on there. I'm going to go ahead and start with tomatoes because there is no sauce, but to me, the tomatoes kind of are the sauce. So I'm just going to take our really nice, look at how nice and thin and beautiful these are. Is this not perfect? Yum.
Well, and it goes so fast.
I know that. And it's fun. That's it. Cooking should be fun, right? If you have to do it, you might as well make it fun.
Exactly.
Nobody wants it to be a chore. I think people who say they don't like to cook, they just don't have the right tools. Okay. Got a couple.
I like that new spatula cleaner that they came
Oh,
out.
yeah, you got the utensil scrubber?
I love that because
Yay. That's what I
works
like to hear.
great on knives.
Yep. And especially you have littles at your house, so then that way you don't have to worry about them getting cut fingers or anything.
Oh yeah, it works great on knives. I was
Nice.
just, yeah. It also works great on slotted spoons too.
Oh, good to know. Does anybody have an air fryer? Because I like to use that little scrubber on my air fryer trays.
Yeah, I do.
I think it does really well with that. Okay, so I'm just taking our zucchini, just kind of scattering this out here. Now, if you wanted to julienne your zucchini, again, I have those julienne pieces. I could have put them on here if I wanted. Whatever you, again,
You
it's
might
your
as well
pizza. You can
dump it
make
all on.
however you want. And then we're going to take our mushrooms. And it's so funny. I'm not a fan of mushrooms, but because I have this cup slicer and it makes it fun to cut them, I'm like, oh, what the heck? I'll add mushrooms. Okay, so we're going to spread those out just a little bit. Okay, and then we're going to take our onion. And again, you could have sliced it if you wanted. Whoops, I got a skin in there. How did that happen? Kind of just scatter your onions on here. And then we're going to top with more cheese and the garlic because I left the garlic out earlier. That's enough onion. And then top with cheese. And I'm going to sprinkle with a little extra Italian seasoning just because these are vegetables. They don't have much flavor. I think it needs a little extra. But look at how good this is. And can you imagine in the summer when you get good vegetables from your garden, how good this is going to taste?
Yeah.
Yum, yum, yum. Okay. So we've got that. Where's my Italian seasoning? We're going to sprinkle a little bit more on here. Okie dokie. And then into the oven it's going to go. So give me just a second. But can you guys see? Isn't that pretty? Wait
Looks
till it
good.
comes out. And unfortunately, you guys probably aren't going to be on here long enough to see it come out. We're going to do 12 minutes or so. And we probably won't be on for 12 more minutes, but I guess it all depends on what questions you have. So any questions that you guys have on anything that I've shown you or anything that you're curious about, because I am in my kitchen, I have everything within a reach and I can pull out anything that you might like to see.
Do those bowls, those pretty new bowls, do they have the grippy on the bottom?
Yes, they do. Thanks for asking.
I love that.
I do
That's
too.
such
So
a neat
these
feature.
are, and it's so funny when they came out with these bowls, I thought, oh, it's a plastic bowl, like big deal, right? But I don't know, the flared rim makes it really easy to hold on to. There's 3 sizes. This is the smallest. This is the 2 quart. Let me grab the others for you. And then there's also a 3 quart and a 4 quart. And they all stack really nicely together for storage. And the question that Brenda had was, does it have a grippy thing on the bottom? So yes, it has silicone here on the bottom. So it keeps it from spinning around on your counter. It kind of just gives it a good little grip as you're working with it. It'll stay put for you.
Yeah,
So-
that's such a great feature.
Yeah, and dishwasher safe, microwave safe. So I use these all the time. And I'm like, it's not just a plastic bowl, it's Pampered Chef. Of course, it's great. So-
Yeah, it works good for especially little ones that are trying to help you mix stuff.
Yes, because yeah, if you're using like a glass bowl or something and it goes tumbling off the counter, that's not good. So good. Okay. Any other questions or anything else that you guys would like to see?
I'm trying to think.
Oh, wait, I have you muted. Do you know how to unmute, Ellen? Or if not, I can unmute you when you were talking with somebody. Here, I'll unmute you. Maybe. Oh, you'll have to unmute yourself. Do you know how to do that?
Can
there
you
you
hear me
go.
now?
Yes.
Okay, so what is that round thing that was on your counter there that you had the stone sitting on?
Good question. This
Yes.
So this is a trivet set, and it's actually 3 trivets in one. So you can, so for storage, they all store together and you can use them together. Or if you need 3 trivets, you can just set them out on your counter and you have 3 different trivets, hot pads.
Oh, they're silicone?
Yeah, they're silicone. So they don't get
Oh,
goopy
cool.
and yucky with food. They're heat resistant. Like I said, you can take something right out of the oven and put it right on these and it's not going to melt them. And
And you can put those in the dishwasher?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Yeah. Or even what I do is I just like in my dish, if I'm doing dishes, I just kind of slosh it in my sink and rub it off if it gets some food or something on them.
All right, thanks.
So, yeah, thanks for asking because it's a really cool set. So
Yeah, it is.
good. Anything else I can show you guys? Now that, hey, it's like the whole kitchen is open to you guys.
Lavon couldn't get on.
Oh, shoot.
So I
Well-
sent her another link. I don't know if she can or not, but I told her I would show her the video.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, that would be good because that way she can see it. So, okay,
Yeah.
well then if you guys don't have any other questions, let me just real quick show you guys the specials that are going on with the parties. With a $90 order, you guys get to choose a free gift and your choices are the scoop loop. Does anybody have the scoop loop yet in their house?
No.
So this little guy, it has kind of serrated on these edges here. And what you do is like, if you have a pepper, and unfortunately I don't have a pepper to show you, but like if you cut the top off, you can go into the pepper and kind of scrape out the seeds and memories with it. And I'm going to
You want to,
and then, or like if you're doing like with kids in a jack-o'-lantern, if you need to scrape out all the goopy seeds and stuff from a pumpkin, I use it for a cantaloupe, like if you need to scoop out the seeds from a cantaloupe. So you can do any of that kind of scoopy stuff with this. And it has the 2 different sizes. So if it's like a smaller pepper or like even a jalapeno pepper, you could use this side to scrape. Or if it's something bigger, you would use the bigger side. So that's one choice. It's called the scoop loop. The other choice is the set of 2 metal straws. So if you guys are into straws and saving the environment, not using the reusable or not using the disposable ones, you get 2 in a set. And it also comes with a little cleaning tool that you can use to clean the straws. Comes in this nice little bag. And then the other thing that you get to choose from, I don't have because it's in my car waiting to go to the store, but we have a set of 3 mesh produce bags that basically in place of using plastic at the grocery store to put your lettuce and tomatoes and things like that in, you have the mesh bags that you can put your produce in. So save some plastic. They're not necessarily designed to prolong your produce, but there is something to be said about putting the produce not in plastic because plastic tends to deteriorate things faster. So anyway, so we have so either the scoop loop, the straws, or the mesh produce bags with a $90 order. With a $150 order, your shipping is free. So that's always a nice bonus. And then we also have this month, we have Taste Buds on sale, which is our subscription service for seasoning. So we talked about the Italian seasoning, right? So what Taste Buds is once a month, you get a little delivery like this. And inside you get, it's basically your answer for what's for dinner. So you will get 3 recipe cards that have, they're kind of curated, they're kind of seasonal. They're also kind of themed, like it might be comfort food or it might be like summer barbecues or whatever. And you'll get the recipe with all kinds of variations. So like you don't have to make the recipe as is. If you have picky eaters or you're eating a particular lifestyle, there's a lot of ways that you can adjust the recipe. And then you get a seasoning that you will need to make it. So this is a good way to try the pantry items from Pampered Chef. So if you don't want to commit to the whole bottle, the samples are about half a bottle. So enough to make the recipe twice. Plus, we give you all kinds of ideas of how else to use the seasoning besides the recipe. So like you can sprinkle it on popcorn, you can make it into an herb butter, you could do this with it, you could do that. So they give you all kinds of other ideas for using the seasoning. So with the Taste Bud subscription, number one, you're getting what's for dinner. You're getting this delivered every month. So you get a couple of recipes and some seasonings. There's also like a little cooking lesson included. So they give you all kinds of little tips about cooking and kind of how to make things better, or why do you do something in this order or that order or whatever. So a little cooking lesson. And then it also gives you what we call insider perks. So some months you get to try a seasoning that hasn't even come out on the line yet. You get to be the first to try it, and then you get to give your input, like whether you liked it and whether it's something that Pampered Chef should add to the line. So that's always fun. And then you can also add on to your subscription delivery. Like if you wanted to order more pantry items, or we have some select tools that you can order, you can add it on to your delivery for free shipping. So it's always handy, like with pantry items, because you're like, oh, I need something, but I don't want to pay shipping for it just for like one bottle. Whereas this way you can add it onto your pantry, your Taste Buds delivery, free shipping to get all those seasonings that you want. So Taste Buds, if you're interested in it, it is a subscription service, and you can try it 25% off this month. So if you're interested in that, when you add that to your cart, it will come up with those savings. But it's a good way. I say try it. If not, nothing else, try a 3-month subscription. Give it a try, see what you think. If you love it, great, keep going. If you find it's not for you, or it's not something that you're using, go ahead and cancel the subscription. It's no big deal, but you might as well try it while you have it on sale. So that is one of the other sale items that we have. Then the other thing that I wanted to share with you guys is, if you guys are interested in stoneware, that is on sale next month, in the month of May, for hosts at 60% off. And then for both Brenda and Rita, you guys are so close to the end of the month and into the new month that you guys actually can take your choice. If you want to stick with the April special of cookware on sale at 60% off, or if you'd rather jump ahead to May and take advantage of stoneware at 60% off, you can do that. So you guys with already hosting have that choice. Anybody who is looking to start a party, we would need to go with May, but you'll be able to get stoneware at 60% off. So that's what's coming up. So any other questions on that?
Nope.
Nope. Okay, let me see how the pizza's doing. I don't think it's quite ready. Got about 3 more minutes. No, we're not quite there. So I'll take a picture and I'll post it with the recording so that you can see what it looks like, but I don't want to hold you guys up. But
Okay.
if you don't have any other questions, I'll let you go and have a nice evening.
You too.
what is
Thank
that?
you.
You got it. Thanks for joining tonight. I hope you guys had fun.
You have a
Thank
good
you,
night.
Kristen.
Thanks. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
All right.
Bye-bye.